try!
What's the emotion up to that one?
Pretty neutral, really. You know, like, once again, well, not once again, like we were doing well enough. We'd rectified some of the things in the second half that we struggled with in the first half, in particular at the ruck. And I thought in the first half at the ruck we struggled a bit to go past the ball and give ourselves quick ball and clean ball, and we turned a few over there. So we got that sorted in the second half, and then we got out to the lead, and we didn't just maintain the non-negotiables of our own game, and that started to surface in the line out, and it started to surface in some of the carries that came because our lads were just way away from the ruck, you know, and then it also it was allowed the opposition to come up on us indeed, and then it surfaced as well in the defence in the inside of the ruck where they came through the middle. Okay, you can get caught there once, but you can't get caught there 3 or 4 times, you know, and that those lack of concentration end up leaving the opposition back into the game.
Do you need to step back to go in?
Oh mate, it's never a clean path of, you know, we're all just going on one direction, you know what I mean? It's never like that. It's about just believing in the things that you want, that your team does, right? Not worrying about the outcome or the results or anything like that. Just hitting that mark every single time. And you know, at the end of the day, like if you look at the score, it's 20-10. You don't have to score any more points. It's the opposition who has to score at that point. So you just got to keep doing what you're doing. That will lead to other scores as well, you'd imagine. But it's just about staying in that, and that takes that little bit of extra maturity that this team needs to accrue, I think, as they get the experience together.
The defence after the final side, you must be happy with how the guys went out.
Mate, they defended well, I thought, all game. Like the 2 tries came from that kick through and then the ball. Defence was pretty good. The problem we had with defence was only those ones through the middle, really, that they went through the middle of the ruck. We shut those down and chased. And yes, you know, they really defended well there, and the charge down was good too. You know, I couldn't believe it bounced the other way. Like, it's the only time I've seen a charge down go the opposite way. But and they showed good discipline too, because obviously that was in goal kicking range. But then we had the opportunity on the turnover. We went up the field. And again, we stood too far away from the halfback, and the guy was able to come and sort us out. We get closer there, we're on, and then we start getting up towards the 50. You start getting into Hodge territory for a kick, a goal, if we get a penalty, or you've got to keep the game alive there.
The scrum tonight, how did you assess that?
Some really good ones and some very poor ones, you know, and that hurt us. Right, scrum and line out. You know, we didn't stick to the trademarks of what we want to do, and we paid the penalty for it there at different times in the game.
The really poor scrums, was that more you guys or just how dominant?
No, I thought you saw that it was a bit of inconsistency, I think, in the way we got set for the scrum, and I thought that there was 1 or 2 really bad ones. I thought there was 1 or 2 very harsh ones against us. Right, the one that led to the maul, you know, CO dominated that scrum, but then we had a couple of really bad ones that cost us.
Are there any big fixes that you need to make there?
Mate, it's just like I said before. It's just about staying to the things we need to do, that we do every week, and just keep delivering. Not looking for the outcome, just doing it. You know what I mean? And then living in that moment, and then getting on to the next thing when that happens. And I think maybe tonight we got a bit guilty of thinking about what's coming next or what had just happened, as opposed to what's happening right now.
From a player's perspective, what was the emotion of the last few minutes?
Yeah, I want to get the ball back. It was nervous times out there. So it was really pleasing that the guys, like Cheika was saying, didn't give away a penalty and managed to get the ball back for another opportunity to get it up their end. Yeah, just disappointed we couldn't.
There was some scrambling in that last passage of play. Still got a few wheels to cut down the centre.
Yeah, I think he was just on the treadmill, mate, to be honest. I didn't feel that fast. Yeah, like our scramble's been good. The hunger's there. Guys are wanting to get back. Guys are wanting to, save those tackles. Like Cheika was saying, we made it hard for them to score points. Yeah.
You played the Box a couple of times last year. They seem to have really taken a leap forward. Is that a fair assessment of just their organisation and how coherent their game?
It's always a tough game. I think I said during the week, or I said yesterday, that even when we were playing them last year, they were very strong, and nothing's changed for us. We always view the South Africans as a huge test match. So that neutral feeling that Cheika's talking about is disappointing. We put ourselves in a position to win it and couldn't get there. So we've got to move to take the positives and learn from it and move to next week.
You guys have put in a couple of really gusty performances now. How important is it to get that reward next week against Argentina?
Yeah, of course we want the reward for the guys. I don't think it's a gutsy performance. I think that suggests that we're just hanging in there. I think we're genuinely getting better. So it's not gutsy. We're just starting to do things more to how we want to do them. Unfortunately, there tonight, we slipped away from those at moments, and like Michael was saying, started thinking about outcome rather than sticking to those throughout the game, and probably around that 20-10 mark, didn't just put the foot on the throat.
Michael, how influential was Curlin against tonight?
Yeah, it's been unbelievable since he come back. For a guy who hasn't played footy since May, I think, end of May, he's just come in, played 3 full games of footy, and he's killed him. He's carved it up, and he's bitterly disappointed in that dressing room right now. He's a guy who you can and we all need to just have that same attitude around wanting it a lot and then staying at it, because like we've seen, I think in this campaign, bar that first half, in New Zealand against New Zealand, that attitude's definitely there, and it's about just concentrating on don't worry about the outcome part, just get sorted out with what we're doing in every moment of the game, and then we'll finish some of these opportunities that we're creating off.
Developing that killer instinct, how important is that?
Yeah, man, I think it comes with just that little bit more time and trusting each other together. It's a relatively, there are a lot of newer players with a newer leadership team, and now we've got a bit of stability around the group. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty comfortable with that group of players. There's the odd player here or there that might come in or out, but they'll grow that together as time goes on now. The rest of this season, obviously, we've got some big games still to come, and build that maturity. You know what I mean? So build that maturity in the leadership team, and also in the players understanding in the clutch moments, I've got a grip on what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to go and do that.
How did you assess Jordan Ulysses' game?
Yeah, I thought he did pretty well. I know he had the line-out throw that went a bit sideways, but he got in there first scrum, did really well. Then he had that line-out, then he had a good line-out down, pressure on his own line, 5 metres out, hit the mark, and then a good carry. He got into it, you know what I mean? And he's a talent, mate. He's a talent, and I think that's sort of most symbolic of what we're trying to do here. I'm not looking for excuses, mate, but no, that's probably the wrong thing even to say. But he's a guy who hasn't played Super Rugby, hasn't started a game of Super Rugby, and he's come in. I think he's hounded himself pretty well over 20, probably nearly 20 odd minutes of international footy. Someone asked me during the week, I don't know who it was, it could have been, I'm not sure who it was, said 10 minutes or 12 minutes to go and the game's in the balance, you're going to put him on the field. And I think he gave me the confidence before the game even started to do that. But then after I saw him play in the first 10 minutes, definitely, you know what I mean? I think with the guys fatiguing a little bit, I thought he added a lot of steel in the front row around the scrum.
Were you worried what was your feeling when Taff got a hit in the head?
Well,
did you think, oh my God,
Taff's not going to want to hear this, but I was pumped because the other guy was going to get on, have a run, you know what I mean? What an opportunity. It was actually that type of thing is sort of ideal. He gets on early, he doesn't expect it, so he's not even I'm straight on there. And he would have been extremely nervous. As a kid, like I said, he hasn't started a game of Super Rugby. He's only been on the field 4 times. So he's done exceptionally well, really, and he's going to have a great future staying on the work ethic that he has and improving the work ethic he has right now.
Michael, when you arrived at the stadium, you obviously saw a lot of blue jerseys. What was your in general feeling about the very solid support that all those blue jerseys?
Passionate fans is a great thing for rugby. You know, how can you look at that as a negative? They were very vocal out there, and you know, even though they weren't chanting Wallabies, it was still for an Australian team. And you know, every time Adam got the ball, first half in particular, I think. You know, and they're screaming for him. So I mean, I was really happy to see the passion in the crowd, and you know, even though it started to throw a little bit of rain out there at the start of the game, you know, everyone stayed strong and really keen to see all the players after the match.
Michael, is it fair to say that South Africa has improved side?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like what from last year to this year? Oh yeah, for sure. I think that Alistair's done a great job. I saw him, I remember maybe during the tour last year, you know what I mean? He was telling me about the things he's done. But not only just with the team, but also to influence the Super Rugby teams. You know, I think you saw all the Super Rugby teams, the South African Super Rugby teams, go up a level this year, and he's got, you know, with the selection process, they got a strong team. And they'll, you know, they played well tonight. They've had a couple of good games against Argentina, and they'll go over to New Zealand full of confidence, I imagine.
Is Stephen going to be back in?
He will be, yes.
Injury-wise, hasn't come out of...
Yeah, I think Sean McMahon just got a nasty cork. That's why he couldn't play on. Taft got when he went for his HIA, he got a nasty poke in the eye. So that's sort of what happened to him. It's all quite red and bloodshot now, but he seems okay. Apart from that, I think we're good.
Michael, Argentina held the All Blacks at bay for about 60 minutes tonight. What do you make of that?
Yeah, they have a habit of doing that when they go over to New Zealand. They're a tough opponent. They'll be a tough opponent for us. They like to go, like the things that maybe we weren't 100% on tonight around the middle of the ruck, they like to go down there. So it's always a good match, Australia-Argentina, over this recent past in particular, you know, from it's been open and there's been a fair bit of footy played. So, yeah, we're looking forward to, you know, taking another step and getting down to Canberra and getting stuck into that match.
Are you expecting the set pieces to be a big battle next week? I mean, Australia and line out?
Mate, every week, I think our line-out's been excellent until tonight. Like we haven't had a lot of line-outs, but it's been really sharp. We've had good quality ball. And tonight, I think there were some really clear markers of what we need to improve just around the speed of our line-out that will take us, you know, back to that level straight away. And then the scrum for us it's been a good half and half, a bad half, then we improved that second half. Tonight, again, mixed, so it's about being consistent with the setup and making sure that that we're doing the same thing every time we go to scrum time. And yes, it will be a battle. It is for every test, mate. Set pieces, and that includes the maul as well. You know, again tonight we defended some mauls really well, the majority of them, but there was 2 mauls that we suffered in. One led to a try. And it's a difference in the game.